Hello everybody, it's Silent the Husky here, welcome back. I have not made a video in a little bit, but it is time to talk about the Fallout the fall update. yeah, right. Okay, so yes, it's time to talk about the fall update and what we know now. It's hype. It is hype. I have never been so ready for Test Drum to come out since, I don't know, probably when, it's been a while. I mean, Wallaru's release was pretty cool. Novus was alright. Caramel, nah. I mean, the ending to the third arc was probably the last time I was ready for an update. But this update, oh man. This is going to, and I think this is going to change lower leveled questing forever. This is going to make it better. So much better. I'm going to turn it down more just so it's not overpowering. Same thing with the music volume. Right. Anyways, back to what I was saying. This is going to change how low-level questing may work for a lot of people, all the schools, with the new feature that they're adding. First off, let's talk about those spells. I'll link down the actual link to the KI spell teaser video in the description below. Check that out. If you haven't already, they look amazing. Next off, we need to talk about, they are really cool, and you can check out Liam's video as he did the sort of the idea of the damage calc. And they're probably going to be sort of like the spells that we saw in Wallaroo and damage numbers similar to those from Wallaroo and Novus. But the other thing that is so great about this update is the new feature of spell weaving. Now that is probably going to change lower leveled, low damage per pip schools in PvE. When it comes to their questing, which schools usually struggle because they don't have a lot of damage output. Ice, life, sometimes. Obviously the ice is tanky, life can heal themselves, but they still don't have decent damage per pip. And balance, of course, can't fight other balanced enemies without using Spectral Blast, normal Hydra, and then normal Chimera that is not spell-elemented. So, or, the Nested Fury, I think it's called. But yeah, what makes this update just so amazing is the whole spell weaving. Because with the art teaser, with all the different trees, the new spell trees from the Crocotopia thing, this is something that has probably been something that should have happened a while back. This is big, this is new, and this is probably going to change how, questing is done in the start of the second arc. Because if you have played long enough in the second arc, you realize that, well, you don't usually get, a power spike. Yes, you have the new level 50 gear from Mouse's Dungeon. And then, of course, you have Waterworks and Zigazag. But is that enough sometimes? Not really. I mean, if you've ever felt like the start of Celestia, Zafaria, the second arc just feels a little sluggish at the start, especially when you start into Celestia. It feels sluggish, a little slow. It doesn't feel like it's the same as, questing in, later worlds, as you have more damage, you have better chances of getting these quick kills. Spell weaving will probably be an answer to that, especially since they're now using, universal pierce jewels and all that. That's going to be another big step in the right direction to making, now obviously, now I don't know how it's going to work on the school identity crisis that we do have sometimes, but I think spellweaving is definitely a change for the best. It definitely has its positives. I don't see any negatives at this time. Maybe because there's a big positive to the whole spellweaving thing. You get more spells as you continue to get through that spellweaving. And luckily, they prepared for this. If you want to switch your spellweaving school, you get all your training points back, which is amazing. Because if they didn't give you your training points back, and now you're stuck with this extra spellweaving school that you're probably not going to use, what are you going to do? Really nothing. But this is a big chance for you as a player to experiment. Test Realm will be a perfect time to start doing experimenting with that feature. See what school works for you. You know, which secondary school you want to jump onto. You know, now you will have access to more impressive spells, probably. You know, because the 100 plus spells, and they have been said that they are going to be player only. Player only. So, you're not going to see enemies casting these spells. This is strictly for your character. Which, I think there was a reference to Sauce in his video. You didn't really get a big power spike leaving Dragonspire into Celestia. This is a change in that formula, and now you're going to have something that may or may not actually, give you that extra buff or boost. Because from what the devs have said, you'll get the spellweaving as early as level 50. Which, in my opinion, is big in terms of just overall the grand scheme of everything. Because, spellweaving, if you start it early, then you can easily get people that are just starting to understand everything. They learn this earlier. Instead of having it show up, later down the line when you're, like, in Walrus or something. Oh, yeah, guess what? You can do spellweaving. But you could have done this at level 50. We just didn't tell you. This is a big update. And probably one of the best. You gotta do... And, like I said, I'll link the spell video so you can check out the spell animations. They look cool. I really like the, I think it's the balance one. It's kind of funny because, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen it, check that out after this video. It's really cool. But, that's really the main thing, really, because if you think about it, when the most recent that we've seen changes to, like, and I'll quickly go back and touch on the progression in the spell progression, or sort of your power spike progression, as I like to call it, sort of. And so what we're saying is, you get your Astral Magic. That's sort of, depending on what time you get it, what time you use it at, it's an upgrade, especially when you get Frenzy. That is a big upgrade to your damage. But, besides that, Shadow Magic, you get Shadow Magic Power Spike, which is pretty cool, because then it leads into Darkmoor, which you get this very powerful school-specific spell that costs a Shadow Pip as well. You're tapping into other magic that was not given to you straight out from your professors. This is new magic that you learned on your quest and endeavors. Same thing with the whole Rochambeau thing. You learn that upon continuing your way through questing. You don't, just automatically get called by your professor saying, hey, guess what? You can learn all about Rochambeau and all this. Or you can come learn about Shadow Magic, because Shadow Magic is, if you've kept up with the lore, it's the evil magic of the spiral. You should not touch it, But as the young wizard, we are able to channel it and control it without many drawbacks, I think, because if you sort of look at, especially if you look at Morgana, because when she delved into the shadow, she turned very, very evil. Very evil. She's not a good guy. She was bright with endless potential, as Headmaster Ambrose would put it, and she wasted it away and then delved into the forces of shadow, and then she becomes the antagonist of the second arc later down the line once she, so obviously, sometimes the shadow magic does corrupt. Fortunately for us, we don't follow that sort of same dark path that she did. We were able to get out of it unscathed, pretty much. We have a new tool in our arsenal to use against the enemies of the spiral. Which I think is really cool. And this further gives us that narrative that, we are not just sticking with our, normal studies at Ravenwood. Now we're starting to expand outside of it, learning new magic outside of the normal magic from Ravenwood that we've learned. You don't see it a lot. You obviously don't get anything in Wisteria, but their magic is different to how Ravenwood does their magic. And Krokotopia's, with the whole spell weaving thing, is different than, Wizard City magic. And that's where, we're tapping into Krokotopian way of magic to help us in our quests against the evil forces in the spiral, which is really, really cool. So like I said, this is a very hype update. I can't wait. I am definitely streaming it when Test Realm goes live. I am streaming it as much as possible because it is a very big update that definitely needs to, I need to check it out. We need to check it out. We need to get our first look and first thoughts on it fresh on Test Realm. So, I'm going to leave it here. Give me your thoughts down below. Make sure to like, subscribe for the algorithm. Put as many comments as you can. Anyways, all fun and games aside. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are just as hyped for the Test Realm update as I am. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.